Hello, parents. Welcome to the fifth grade Orientation Day presentation. I highly recommend that you watch this video with your fifth grader so he or she can also get the information. This is typically the 15-minute presentation that's given during Orientation Day, but remember that I'm going to be doing things differently than the rest of the school. I'm going to be doing a parent-teacher with student style of conference is what we're going to be doing, and I'll share a little more about that in just a moment. So let me start by talking about communication and contact information. I'm hoping to improve communication at home with home and school this year. So my contact information is given to you there with the email as well as Westside's phone number. I'm typically here between 7:45 in the morning and 4:15 in the afternoon. I do have meetings on Wednesdays and Thursdays. So if you and I were to schedule any type of meeting of some type, we have to do it outside of those two mornings. I am giving you my cell phone number, so if you need to get in contact with me for something urgent, you can either send me a text or call me. I just ask that you do so before 9:30 p.m. at night. Also, to improve communication, I'm going to be creating a classroom closed group Facebook page, and I'll talk about that more in a moment. I'm going to give you some information about the school website as well as the take-home folder. So let's start off with that classroom closed Facebook page. Closed meaning that only certain people can see the information. So the certain people I want, of course, is you parents. And so I will invite you, and then you'll see that notification on your Facebook page. And then you can invite others, such as grandparents or aunts and uncles who are in different parts of the country or wherever they are. And they will have to get approved by me. So if you invite them, I get a notification from Facebook saying so-and-so has invited whoever to your classroom Facebook page. And then I would approve them or deny them. And so my hope is to, like I mentioned, increase school and home communication. I'm not sure about you, but I've got kids at home, and I typically get the nothing story, meaning I'll ask them, hey, what'd you do at school today? Oh, nothing would be the typical response. So if you are one of those families who gets that, I certainly want to change that. Perhaps what we'll do is we'll record a session of Reader's Theater on the Constitution. And so then when they come home, you can say, hey, I saw you did a Reader's Theater today. Tell me more about that. What did you learn about the Constitution? Stuff like that. So you can have more things ready to ask your child specifically and not get that nothing story. I hope that we can build community and connections within and outside of school. Parents, you might have a question that other parents might have, so you can post a question to our Facebook page. And you know what? It's possible, too, that other parents might have the answer to that. So you can certainly post the answers as well. Pictures of field trips, if you either go on as a chaperone, feel free to post pictures of our field trips to our classroom page. I'll do the same thing, of course, so that for those of you who don't get a chance to go, you can certainly see some of the stuff that we saw in our class field trips. I'll post reminders on there, events coming up, homework possibly even. So let me give you just a quick tour of our classroom page. There isn't a whole lot on there right now, but like I mentioned, we can certainly post things, written discussions. I can put photos or videos on there. We can possibly do something live in there. So what will happen, again, like I said, is once you do get invited and you're on your home page in your Facebook, you can either possibly find it on your shortcuts, or you'll be able to go to your groups, and under groups, you will find the Mr. Smith 5th grade 2018-19 classroom page. So I think that's a pretty cool communication tool to use. Other teachers in our school have used this before. Other teachers in other districts have used these, and they have found it to be a pretty cool way to improve communication at home or with home. So I will try to invite you now, or you can possibly even search for our Facebook page. Again, it's Mr. Smith's 5th grade 2018-19 is the name of it. And then once you do, I'll have to approve you. If you can't find it, we'll try to take care of it on our orientation day. Speaking of which, again, we're going to do that parent-teacher style conference with your student. You're going to sign up for a 20-minute slot. I've talked about this already, but I want to try to make sure I'm clearing up any confusion, because it's possible you've received this bit of information And just a reminder that these times on here for the other fifth grades are when the other 3 fifth grade classes are going to be giving their orientation day presentation, which you're watching mine of right now, as well as the rest of the school. So we're doing it differently. Again, I'm just trying something that hopefully will increase and improve that communication between home and school. And so just again, not to confuse you, the other grade levels are doing it at these particular times. My classroom, we're doing it throughout the day with those parent-teacher style conferences, okay? So with that said, I also want to share with you some other resources, the school website. If you do go to rfsdk12.wi.us, you can go under schools and find Westside. Our school page is pretty well kept up to date. There's a lot of good information on here. A couple things that I would point out to you would be the district calendar as well as Westside's calendar. Those things would be good for you to check out. And so perhaps bookmark this page and come back and look at it a few times throughout the school year, especially a couple times a month. I do want to take a little time to talk about homework and the take-home folder. This is typically the thing that we spend most of the time on with parents during orientation day. You can see the 3 things there: math, reading, and projects. Reading is essentially self-selected text for about 20 minutes a night is what we're hoping the kids are doing. Projects, those are going to vary throughout the year, and information will certainly come home about those. I mainly want to take a little bit of time to talk about math. Last year, I learned about this model of teaching called a flipped classroom. A flipped classroom essentially takes the traditional homework, and instead of putting it at the end after a lesson is given, it's given before the lesson is given. So what's going to happen is your child hopefully will have the opportunity to watch a video on edpuzzle.com. I'm going to share that with you in just a moment here. And then he or she is going to do his home link. And they're going to do that the night before. So typically how I share this or explain this to kids is it's like a movie trailer. You see the movie trailer at home, and then you go to the movie the next day or later and see the rest of it. Well, it's going to be the same thing with math. I'm going to do a movie trailer, which is the Edpuzzle, the homework piece, of the lesson I'm going to do the next day in math. And then the kids have a chance to practice a little bit on their home link. And if they get things wrong on their home link at home, that's just fine. We're going to then take that home link the next day, go over it, and do it, use it in small groups or as a whole group or with partners. And it's a cool way of learning. It's certainly different than what parents, you and I, have experienced growing up. So let me share with you just a small part of Edpuzzle and what it'll look like on the student's end, and then the home link as well. So I'll play just a little bit of this. Here we go. Hello students, this video is for the homework videos for Unit 1, Lesson 2. We're skipping Lesson 1 because that has to do with the student reference book, and we'll just take care of that in class. But we're going to get into Lesson 2, and what's going to happen is you're going to watch these videos the day before the lesson. So you're getting some information the day before the lesson at home. You'll be doing the study links or the home links the best that you can at home, using the videos or after the videos. Did you hear the key word there? The best that you can. So what we'll do then, like I said, is that home link will then come back to school, and we'll go through it the next day. Here's an example of what a home link would look like for that first one. We're going to be looking at finding an area with fractional units involved. And so the kids would do as much of this as they can. If there's a piece that gets frustrating, then just stop. Just stop doing it, and we'll come back to it the next day. Again, the idea is that it's a preview for what we're doing. And so I don't expect kids to get everything right on these home links. I'm going to say that again. I don't expect kids to get everything right on these home links. I hope that they would struggle a little bit, but when it gets to the point that it's frustrating, then they need to stop. So that's a little bit about the math homework. And if you have any more questions about that, you can certainly ask at our conference. The take-home folder, that's going to come home each night. I would hope that that will come home and come back to school each day, because the home link packet will be inside there. It's also something that field trip notes will come home in. Other notes from home can come back to school with there. I do prefer email instead, but you can send a written note if you need to. Lunch money can go in there. The home link family letter as well will be in there. A couple of other things to cover just briefly here with you is that we do have a new reading curriculum this year. It's called Benchmark Advance. It is possible that there will be a homework piece with that. If so, I'll post that note on our Facebook page or in an email to you. The first unit is on the United States Constitution. This is a great unit. It's one of my high areas of interest in teaching of social studies and reading. So I'm eager to get started on that particular unit with them. Remember, this grade level is, we've got over 100 kids, so we have 4 sections. That means we're on a 4-day schedule for Phi-Ed, music, art, and media. I will try to put together a schedule and put that in the take-home folder so that you do know which days we have Phi-Ed and those gym shoes are going to need to be at school, as well as when Media Center books are going to be returned, or at least when we have media, so those books can be returned. Technology in our classroom, especially this is important for parents and students to hear. This is a heavy tech classroom, and we use a lot of things such as Schoology. I showed you a little bit of Edpuzzle just there. Other things such as Recap and Google Drive, email, and YouTube. Yes, the videos have to be approved, however, by me in order for kids to use whatever videos that they're using. So they might look up, for example, how to solve a Rubik's Cube. And I've got to approve the video before they actually watch it. We talk a lot about digital citizenship the first week of school, appropriate searches, use of copyright, advertisements and so forth, cyberbullying, responses to other people's posts and so forth in our Schoology. So there's a lot of this that we cover that first week. The Chromebooks themselves, we cover handling of those because I actually own the 25 that we are using in here. I bought them from an electronics recycling center in Wisconsin, and I found that they are such a great tool to use. And just wanted to make sure that I talk with the kids about proper handling of them, because if they do break, then I've got to fix them, and there's a cost to that. And so we also will cover a user agreement, which is essentially kids agreeing to the school board's policies of the network and the internet. And I can certainly show you that at our parent-teacher conference. I do check the history folders on the Chromebooks to make sure kids are doing what they're supposed to be doing. If there are any issues with the user agreement or the history folders, I certainly have varying consequences, which are based on the individual infraction. So there are different things that happen on these once in a while. Typically, it's just a conversation that I have with the student, and things are taken care of pretty well. I had very minor issues last year, and I will expect to have very minor ones this year. Noteworthy items. Safety Patrol. All 5th graders are invited to be part of Safety Patrol. Mrs. Flood is the Safety Patrol coordinator, so she's really the one to ask any questions of. Morning recess, just a reminder, it begins at 8:30 in the morning. We don't have supervision out there until 8:30, so kids are not to be at school before then. If they need to be, we do have Kids Club available. And other things to chat about, just real quick. We do have the backpack program that our Neighbor's Place does a wonderful job of supplying for some of our families here at Westside. And all families can help contribute to that, because if you just simply send in your receipts from Family Fresh, if you shop there, our Neighbor's Place collects those, and then after a certain amount of those receipts, they get a check for $1,000, which helps actually fund that backpack program. So it's a real easy, simple way to help do some fundraising for a great program. Field trips, we'll have 2 this year, 2 for patrol. We'll have 1 for Orchestra Hall, which the kids will be expected to dress up for. We go to the Minnesota Institute of Art as well as Como Zoo on another field trip. Fall parent-teacher conferences, as you can see there, are on the 5th and the 8th of November. And the fun run will be October 5th with some fundraising packets coming a week before. More of that information will come your way in time. So I'm just going to conclude this by reminding you to sign up for that 20-minute time slot for September 4th. The information should be in the email that this video link was for. Please bring your questions with you. Be ready to talk about your child. And I look forward to seeing you on September 4th. Thanks for watching, and I will see you soon.